U.S. Food and health officials are trying to ease fears about beef safety now that a case of mad cow disease has been confirmed in California. At least one major South Korean company has suspended the sale of American beef despite reassurances that consumers aren't in any danger at all. CNN's Paul Verkaman is near the facility in California where the infected dairy cow was discovered. What are you learning over there, Paul?
Well, Wolf, as you said, the infected dairy cow was discovered here. This is a rendering facility in Hanford, California. Again, health and safety officials saying that there is no threat, but this cow was brought in by Baker Commodities. Now, Baker Commodities goes up and down the San Joaquin Valley from Bakersfield to Modesto. It serves some 100 dairies, and it picks up the cows that die at the various dairies and farms. It brought the cow back here. It was tested, and it turned up positive for what they're now terming to be atypical mad cow disease. Now, what goes on in here, basically in these rendering facilities, and this cow was going to be transferred to yet another Baker's Commodities facility in Kerman, the cows are basically carved up. They get their hide, and they use these products in pet food. They also use these animal products in food for chicken feed, and these are valuable in terms of paint and soaps and cosmetics. Now, again, I talked to the California USDA. They say there is no health or safety threat here, and that at one point they will destroy the carcass. And this, Justin, they now say the dairy where this came from is in Tulare County. That's about 15 miles to the east of here in Hanford, Wolf.
Paul Verkaman on the scene for us. Thank you. U.S. officials are insisting that current levels of testing for mad cow disease are adequate. Brian Todd is here. He's taking a closer look at the testing part of this story, whether or not American beef, dairy products are safe. What are you finding out?
Well, Wolf, by all indications, it is mostly safe, Wolf, for the very most part. The safeguards in place have worked very well. We did learn of a small gap in the system, but it's not clear if that had anything to do with this case.
In the wake of the discovery of the fourth case of mad cow disease in the U.S., the Agriculture Secretary reassures Americans their food supply is safe. How does he know for sure?
We know because of taking out of the feed and out of the food supply those parts of the animal that could potentially cause the mad cow disease in humans.
Tom Vilsack means they make sure the nervous system material of the cow, the brains, the spinal columns, don't get into the food system. Those are the parts that can transfer the agents in a cow's body which carry the disease. Also, the government no longer allows feed from dead, ground-up cows to be used to feed other cows. That's prevented potential transmission of mad cow disease. But the government does allow dead cows to be ground up and fed to chickens. Chickens eat it and excrete it. Experts say that chicken excrement has nutritional value, so sometimes that's ground up and fed to other animals, like cows. I asked Patty Lavera of the nonpartisan advocacy group Food and Water Watch about that.
Should the U.S. government ban cow feed from being given to chickens?
We think so. We think that if we didn't allow the cattle parts to be in any animal feed, it would really lower the risk of accidents happening, of contamination, of accidentally having that cattle part get fed back to cattle.
But you don't need to worry about getting mad cow from eating chicken. Experts say even if a chicken eats feed from a sick cow, the agent that transfers mad cow disease doesn't infect chickens, doesn't contaminate the meat.
We asked Dr. Richard Raymond, a former undersecretary at the Department of Agriculture who oversaw safety in the meat industry, why take chances? There's still a slim chance infected proteins could make their way through the chicken population back to cows, or ruminants as they're referred to in the industry.
I do not believe a ban on poultry litter to ruminant is necessary at this time. I do not believe there's any scientific evidence that our herd is at risk from eating poultry litter, and the fact that the ruminant-to-ruminant feed ban has been so effective, I think that shows that we have this situation well under control.
So far, the safeguards have been effective. From a peak of over 37,000 cases of mad cow disease worldwide in 1992, only 29 cases were reported last year.
And the Agriculture Department says in this case, the animal tested positive for a very rare form of the disease not generally associated with an animal consuming infected feed. Still, we called the FDA, which handles feed bans, to ask why the government still doesn't ban the feed from dead cows from being used to feed chickens. So far, we've not gotten a response. The USDA is still investigating how this one particular cow actually got the disease, wolf.
How many cows do they actually test every single year for mad cow disease?
The USDA says it takes samples from 40,000 animals a year, focusing on the groups where they think they're maybe in the most danger of having it. But that's 40,000 head out of about 36 million cattle that are slaughtered in the U.S. each year. Experts say government inspectors do inspect, just visually every single head of cattle for outward signs of it. But watchdog groups say you've got to test more, actually do the tissue testing of more than 40,000 cows out of 36 million.
Yeah, I suspect they're going to increase that testing in the weeks and months to come.
Right.
Appreciate it very much, Brian. Afghan President Hamid Karzai had the nerve to tell a United States congressman to stay out of the country, stay out of Afghanistan, even though the U.S. is spending billions of dollars there in U.S. taxpayer money. I'll ask Congressman Dana Rohrabacher about that and about Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's shocking reaction to what Karzai was demanding. Stand by. The Pentagon is bracing for North Korea to conduct a new nuclear test at any time. New information coming in. And a 10-year-old boy with autism bullied by his own teacher. His father posts shocking evidence on the internet.
You go to see any books in the library, or you just look at sculptures?